Hello everybody, welcome back. New guitar day. This is not a sponsored video, so this is one I bought on my own. Bought this guitar off of eBay, and it's a brand, Starshine, that I haven't seen too many reviews on YouTube. So I was curious, and that's why I bought it, because I really had no other basis for information on the guitar. And the reason I bought it was because of the features that were described by the manufacturer. So it was sort of a blind buy, because there's not a hell of a lot of reviews on this thing on the internet, and there are hardly, I haven't seen one on YouTube, so I believe this is going to be the first review, so hopefully it's helpful. So let's get going. This is a Starshine Strat style HSS guitar. We'll start off with the good and the reason that I was attracted to it. Now, before I even get involved in that, let me get to what I think Starshine is. So, Starshine has their own website, and I looked at this product a while back, and Zuwei, Z-U-W-E-I, was also listed on the website. So, I thought they might have been sister brands or the same manufacturer, same whatever. And I looked at it recently, and now that website link is the same with Starshine, .starshine.com, whatever. But it just says Zuwei now on the website. There's no indication of Starshine at all, which is kind of interesting. So I think Zuwei, Z-U-W-E-I, and Starshine, in any event, are the same company. If you don't know either one, it's meaningless. But some of you may be familiar with Zuwei guitars because they also make, knockoff Les Pauls, Strats, Tellys, and the like, Chinese brand. And there's a lot of reviews for those guitars, or at least some reviews for them on YouTube. So I think it's the same company. So what do we got here? What attracted me? So it's an HSS guitar with a split coil, which I don't see often. So this humbucker in the bridge can be split into a single type coil with this volume knob. It is a little stiff to pull up and down. That may break in over time, but it could be better. So that's the split for this particular coil, for this particular pickup. It allows this to be more of a traditional Strat SSS configuration guitar. Now, full disclosure, any kind of split coil on a guitar at this price range, you're not going to hear the same effect on single coils that you would if you had a true SSS configuration. The sound is thinner than this humbucker, but doesn't sound like a true single coil pickup. But it's workable, and it's a nice feature. The bridge on here is set very, very flat against the guitar. It has no give in it at all. So from a tremolo standpoint, it might require some adjustment if you want to make it more of a floating bridge. The wood on the guitar is described as poplar by the manufacturer. It does have a decent grain to it. There are some imperfections in this finish that I have another issue with, and I'll talk about later. But it's poplar wood. Again, a humbucker in the bridge and two singles. These are all ceramic pickups. Volume, tone, and tone, like a traditional Strat. 5-way switch. White pickguard, that is 3-ply. Color of this guitar is kind of attractive. It's described as being bourbon burst on the website. And here's some other stuff that's interesting. So it's got a maple neck, maple fretboard, and maple neck. And the manufacturer, again, claims that this is a roasted maple neck and fretboard. Now, you can see here, it's not quite, doesn't look like some of the traditional roasted necks that you see on YouTube for more expensive instruments. So whether in fact this is actually roasted or not, I can't honestly confirm if it is or not. I have no idea, because it just might be a dyed wood type of a thing, or an alternate wood used or whatever. I have no idea, but I have no way of confirming if in fact it is roasted or not. The tuners on here are seal tuners. They are cheap tuners at best. They are okay, again, but you'll probably want to change these things out at some point in time. The nut on here is an inexpensive plastic nut. Here you go. Seems to be cut okay. Strings are not out of alignment. The guitar shipped with the string height being acceptable. It's not super high, nor is it as low as I'd like. I'll probably lower it a tad bit, but it's fine. The fret ends are good. That's one of the good things about the guitar. There are no sharp fret ends up and down this up and down the neck. So that was done nicely. What else? I'm trying to think here. The neck itself, profile. This is a fairly beefy neck for a Strat. Now, I don't particularly like beefy necks. I mean, that's my personal taste. I like a neck that's a shallow C profile neck, or a thinner neck. This thing's got good girth to it. So if you like thick necks on a Strat style guitar, you'll like that. I don't particularly like thick necks. The neck joint was set properly. There's no noticeable gap or spacing on the neck. Now, what I don't like. Finishing. This guitar was not finished well at all. I paid $169.99. That's what eBay currently is selling these things for. And they go anywhere from $169.99 up to $199.99 and change. So it's almost a $200 guitar. And I think it should be, attention to detail should be a little bit better. So if you look at the finish on here, there are bumps, and I can't show it on the video because it's more, you have to kind of feel it. But there are bumps and divots and all sorts of things where it looks like the wood was chipped and then painted over. There's a noticeable one here, but you're probably not going to be able to see it on my camera. But right here, there is a sort of a ding. I don't know if you can see that where my finger is on the guitar. And there are several other areas that have these types of situations. Now, again, it's not a $1,000 Strat. I understand that, but it's also not an $80 Strat. So I think some of these things they could have been a little bit more careful with. What else? Tuners don't hold tune great, but they're acceptable. They're fine for initial reasons. These are cheap ceramic pickups. They're fine, again, if you're a beginner. If you're not using this thing to gig, I think the pickups will be fine for you. Neck's a little bit on the thick side, which I'm not crazy about. This cover or cap on top of the 5-way switch, this little triangular like Christmas tree shaped hat, has a sharp edge on it, on the plastic that they put on this thing that looks like it came out of a Cracker Jacks box. And it is sharp to the point where if you grab at it, it'll actually cut your finger. It's almost like a pin. I don't know how they got this thing out of the factory without at least filing that thing down. You can't see it on my video, but I'll use my finger. My nail actually catches on it. It's right at the base of this switch. The other thing is the guitar is fairly heavy. It's poplar. I would say this guitar weighs a good 8 pounds, 8 and change. I haven't weighed it, but it is a heavy guitar. Now, this was sold as a package. That was the other reason I bought it. So they claimed it comes with a 10-watt amp, a gig bag, and etc. So let me show you what this guitar actually comes with. Put this down for a second. So, ships with strings and 2 picks. A cheap guitar cord and the tremolo bar, and it looks like there's also an Allen wrench in this particular package, right? Believe it or not, it has actually a guitar, electric guitar and bass manual. Comes with this gig bag, and this is one of the better gig bags for inexpensive guitars, in their defense. It has a little bit of padding inside, so it will actually, it's not a dust cover, this will actually serve a purpose if you're going to be, you know, moving the guitar from one location to the next. It will provide some degree of protection. Okay, so the gig bag I'll give them points on. It's decent. Here's where things start to go south quick. Shipped with this amplifier. Amplifier is dead on arrival. Now, I don't know how well you can see. It's a cheap amp, I get it. See in the corner there, you see this little divot or raised area over here? That is a dent in the screen of the amplifier. Okay? And I don't know if this has anything to do with the fact that there's no volume on this amp or not, but it clearly has a problem. It's dead on arrival. So I called up the company and I explained my dissatisfaction with the fact that you shipped me something that doesn't work, and I asked them to either ship me a new amp or, you know, take money off the deal, off the package price. And they came back to me and said, send me pictures, which I did, of the amp. I also sent pictures of the guitar, where they had some of these imperfections. Then they came back and said, well, send me a video of the amp. Now, what am I going to show on the video other than the fact that there's a light on the amplifier with it plugged in, but there's no volume coming out? I don't know what that's going to do, but okay. Then they came back and said, have you checked the fuse? Now, I'm not about, at this point in time, with the amount of, you know, time I have available and everything else, to open up the back of this amp and start looking around at wire connections and fuses and things like that. I'm not a tech, a guitar tech, to figure out and diagnose what the problem is. This is the manufacturer's problem, not mine. Why should it be put on me for having to do that? So that kind of lit me a little bit. So basically I'm at a point now where I have this guitar with an amp that doesn't work and a manufacturer or a seller that has no interest in remedying the situation other than pointing me out to fixing it myself type of a deal. So can I honestly say that I would recommend this Starshine guitar package to someone, you know, a beginner or someone wanting an extra Strat style guitar, or someone enamored like I was to some extent with a split coil or a coil split HSS configuration and a roasted maple neck at that price? That intrigued me. No, don't do it. I'm just telling you that ahead of time because I think you'll be sorely disappointed in the end if you do so. So again, guys, sometimes things appear better than they actually are, as they say. So, is this worth the price of almost $200? I would say definitely not. There are a lot of alternatives out there, and this is what amazes me for these budget Strats. You've got Grote that are out there selling them, right? You've got Monoprice selling decent Strat-style guitars. You've got, who else? I'm just trying to think in this particular range. It's really Grote and Monoprice that really, from an S-style, a Strat-style standpoint, oh, you got Squier Bullets, but they're going to be more money, right? I'm trying to think of some of these, you know, import low-end guitars on Amazon and eBay that are actually, you know, decent knockoff or Strat-style guitars. So let's just take, for lack of a better brain working right now, let's just take Grote and Monoprice. You'll get a guitar, a Strat-style guitar, for well under $100. It's probably, if you get some discounts on Amazon or credits or whatever, the guitar is probably around $80. on Amazon for Strat style guitar. And the same thing with Monoprice. When they're running their sales, or even without their sales, they're typically under $100. I don't know how this company demands close to $200 for an item that, in my opinion, from a quality standpoint, is exactly the same as you're going to get with those brands at double the price. Doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sure if you look at where these things are, all guitars coming out of China, I'm sure all of these potentiometers and bridges and tuners and maybe even bodies of the guitar, neck and bodies, probably all coming from similar or the same even manufacturing plants. It's not like you're getting Alnico pickups in this guitar, or locking tuners, or some Wilkinson pickups, or whatever. Something that will justify that huge gap in price. You're not getting it. So again, can I honestly recommend buying this type of a package? No. I think you're better off buying the lower end products, or the other brand low end products, I should say, the other low end products like Grote or Monoprice, and steer clear of this one. So that's my 2 cents. That's my assessment. Any questions on this particular guitar, fire them below. I will answer them as quickly as possible. If you like these reviews and want to see more coming and they're helpful to you in your buying decisions, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And until the next time, guys, as always, be well, stay safe, have a good one.